Yehova, please fill me with the Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, amen. We'll start with the Shema, listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts in mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold. Nail, behold. Exodus chapter 19. In the 3rd month after the people of Israel had left the land of Egypt, the same day they came to the Sinai desert. After setting out from Rephidim and arriving at the Sinai desert, they set up camp in the desert. There in front of the mountain, Israel set up camp. Moshe went up to God, and Yehovah called to him from the mountain. Here is what you are to say to the household of Yaakov, to tell the people of Israel, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I carried you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now if you pay careful attention to what I say, and keep my covenant, then you will be my own treasure from among all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you will be a kingdom of Kohanim for me, a nation set apart. These are the words you are to speak to the people of Israel. Moshe came, summoned the leaders of the people, and presented them to all the words Yehovah had ordered him to say. All the people answered as one, everything Yehovah has said, we will do. Moshe reported the words of the people to Yehovah. Yehovah said to Moshe, see, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, so that the people will be able to hear what I speak with you, and also to trust in you forever. Moshe had told Yehovah what the people had said. So Yehovah said to Moshe, go to the people today and tomorrow, separate them for me by having them wash their clothing, and prepare for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day Yehovah will come down on Mount Sinai before the eyes of all the people. You are to set limits for the people all around and say, be careful not to go on the mountain or even touch its base. Whoever touches the mountain will surely be put to death. No hand is to touch him, for he must be stoned or shot by arrows. Neither animal nor human will be allowed to live. When the shofar sounds, it may go up on the mountain. Moshe went down from the mountain to the people and separated the people for God, and they washed their clothing. He said to the people, prepare for the 3rd day. Don't approach a woman. In the morning of the 3rd day, there was thunder, lightning, and a thick cloud on the mountain. Then a shofar blast sounded so loudly that all the people of the camp trembled. Moshe brought the people out of the camp to meet God. They stood near the base of the mountain. Mount Sinai was enveloped in smoke, because Yehovah descended onto it in fire. Its smoke went up like the smoke from a furnace. The whole mountain shook violently. As the sound of the shofar grew louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and God answered him with a voice. Yehovah came down onto Mount Sinai, to the top of the mountain. Then Yehovah called to Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up. Yehovah said to Moshe, go down and warn the people not to force their way through to see Yehovah, to see him. If they do, many of them will perish, even the Kohanim, who are allowed to approach. Yehovah must keep themselves holy, otherwise Yehovah may break out against them. Moshe said to Yehovah, "The people can't come up to Mount Sinai because you ordered us to set limits around the mountain and separate it." But Yehovah answered him, "Go, get down, then come back up, you and Aaron with you. But don't let the Kohanim and the people force their way to come up to Yehovah, or I will break out against them." So Moshe went down to the people and told them. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading Exodus 19? Very interesting chapter. Know that Moshe listened to Yehovah from the mountain, and this is what Yehovah said to Moshe. Pay careful attention to what Yehovah says, and keep the covenant of Yehovah. Then we will be a treasure for Yehovah among the peoples, for all the earth is his. Trust that we are to be a kingdom of Kohanim for Yehovah, a nation set apart. Know that at the time all the people answered, "We will do it." Trust that on the third day Yehovah came down on Mount Sinai before all the people of Israel. Know that Yehovah came so close that he had ordered them not to touch the mountain, or they would die. Know that the people first had to be separated and washed. Know that they were instructed to prepare for the third day. Trust that on the third day there was thunder, lightning, and a thick cloud on the mountain. Trust that a shofar blasted so loudly that all trembled. Trust that Moshe brought all the people to meet Elohim. Trust that Mount Sinai was enveloped in smoke because Yehovah descended onto it in fire. Know that the whole mountain shook violently. Know that the shofar grew louder and louder. And when Moshe spoke, Elohim answered him with a voice. Know that Moshe went to the top of the mountain to meet with Yehovah. Know that Moshe had to warn people not to come up or they would die. Trust that only the holy Kohanim are allowed to approach. Trust that limits were placed to separate the people from the mountain. Know that Moshe came down to get Aaron and bring him up to meet with Elohim, Yehovah. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can teach others the importance of keeping the covenant with Yehovah and to pay careful attention to what Yehovah says. How can we bear one another's burdens? We can pay careful attention to what Yehovah says and keep the covenant of Yehovah. Produce spiritual fruit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control. End with the Aaronic blessing. Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts. He will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order, and he will provide for you love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete.